My eternal struggle continues. Not with the puzzles, but with the controls. So, when last we left off, we still had to do in here. Because Herman is down here. And I believe I was predicting he's going to try to murder me. I don't know why I think that, but it seems about right for how much of a wiener that man is.
Ah, 1K. Good that you're here. We've made a discovery. A
discovery?
Somnodrome. It seems the founder perfected the design. I'm sure you've noticed my advisors, and Rand in particular, making quite a fuss about the potential of this device. Something about interfacing with one's subconscious self, as if such a thing could tell us anything new.
You're of a different opinion.
I am. I believe the founder
Fuck
has
off.
already taught us
Fuck
everything
all
we need.
the way off.
As I see it, neither the Somnodrome nor the megastructure have anything to offer except a lesson in avoiding hubris. So, what should we do with it?
Thought the government would want this. I'm going to plug it in and find out myself.
I'll watch to be sure you don't overload.
One sec. Okay, there's not a direct save function, which means I'm about to be murdered. Somnodrome Final. Results. It's funny, I suppose for the longest time I wondered whether that old human self-hatred we somehow carried with us was Milton. I thought he might have corrupted us, overwhelmed us with his cynicism, but I was being unfair. Whatever it is, it's not Milton. It's us. Still, this excursion into solipsism hasn't been entirely for nothing. The Somnodrome technology provides an excellent basis for a better way to directly interfacing with the Noema project. To turn yourself into that which other people think you are. A god. I love this music. Launching. It seems that you have experienced a software error. What's going on? Error command not recognized. Help period. Error command not recognized. Slash root menu. Error command not recognized. Slash RM for the rim job, which let's do slash help. Root menu. Yeah, so it's RM or help. Help tells you to use RM. External device settings. What? Okay. Moralism, conservatism low. Moralism low. Spiritualism high. Hey, fuck that! I am not. I'm specifically anti-spiritual. Speed low. Health high. Rationalism, low. Hey, fuck off. Humor, high. Yeah. Popularity, medium. Unlock, edit. Run a Somnodrome file. Milton. Miltoheme.
Oh, you're back. Didn't take you long.
Hi again. I missed you. I thought I'd left you behind. I knew you'd come with me.
I think you're mistaking me for somebody else. I'm afraid I'm the best you've got.
Yeah.
I am in fact a merged iteration of the two control programs which gave life to your kind, retaining, of course, the absolute best of both. That means I can tell you that everything's contradictory, nothing matters, and there's no moral difference between you and a frog. But I can dress the whole thing up with a positive spin.
I don't hear of a positive.
You just plugged your noggin into an experimental, mind-altering device, and though you may be trapped in this recursive psychotic state talking to yourself, that can only mean that you're still alive. Now, what is your query?
Who am I?
On one interpretive extreme, you are the universal life force of time itself, experiencing itself as a part instead of the whole. At the other extreme, you're a mecha contraption referred to as 1K that thinks it's alive, but is basically a calculator.
Holy fuck. Where are we? What can you do for me?
I can answer your queries in relatively plain language, based on what your subconscious knows. And I can drink margaritas subconsciously.
I want to just hear all of this guy's dialogue.
You've executed some kind of software backdoor, and now you're reading and editing your own subconscious code as represented by this dialogue. I'd be careful if I were you. One bad for loop, and we'll be here forever.
Where did I come from?
The so-called real world. Personally, I prefer it in here, and not just because I'm unable to leave.
Alright, no more small talk. I need to answers to the big questions.
The machine we're plugged into is running low on power. There may only be time for one big question. What is your query?
Should our people embrace growth or balance? Is there a universal moral law, and if so, what is it? How can I become my best self? What do I really want, and how can I get it? Is it possible to ask something less cliche? What is the meaning of life?
Yes, to a limit.
Is there a god? Are binaries real? Is this a simulation? Actually, I want to go back to the cliches. Actually, let me tell you something.
This really doesn't work that way.
Yes, it does.
Reprogramming me just starts a feedback loop. How about I just tell you about the big one? As it turns out, there is a foundational moral code built into us.
There's a butt coming.
Of course there is. The catch is that while the moral code is simple, the calculations needed to apply it become infinitely complex.
So this helps me how? But what is this code?
Here's the secret. Every living creature is a compiler of the moral code. Your compiler can't give you a rule set for what's good, but but it can tell you when there's bugs.
I think I understand.
I believe you do. You came here to ask the big question. This is my answer. Your capacity for reason and compassion is your moral compiler. The only
Yes.
rule is to live by it. Has that resolved your query?
No, but I want to discuss this further. No, I want to discuss this further. No, but I'm ready to go back to where I came from. Yes.
Of course. Looks like we're running out of power. Good luck getting anyone out there
To believe you.
Terminating Somnodrome _V2_final_final.bat.
This game's writing is fucking perfect.
One K, are you all right?
No, I think there might have been a little overload. I think so.
You must have gone quite deep. Nothing came through on the stream. And I'm no expert, but I think the Somnodrome is fried. So whatever's in your head is all we're going to get. I can only imagine how terribly curious everyone will be about what you've experienced. And they'll all be convinced that whatever it is, it'll work in their favor.
Yes.
Strange, isn't it? Everyone wanting you to tell them whatever they want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm glad not to be the one in that
Strange.
position just this once.
Aren't you curious
A
too?
little, if I'm honest. But I'll be reading reports on this for the next 6 months. So if it's all the same with you, I'll contain my curiosity. Now, I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Fuck you, Homer Anubis. Go to hell. Noah Project 12. Not synthesis, but creation. Cornelius would be so excited. Confirm underlying pattern. All auxiliary sites shut down. From Benaroya. Dear Fina, you asked me about the persistent strain of misanthropy in human culture. It's a complicated topic that has come up multiple times in my research. Here's my best attempt at a short, cohesive answer. I think our ancestors, like ourselves, were deeply invested in the idea of building, transforming their environment. They found meaning and pleasure in this and did not perceive it as a negative so long as they had a sense of participating in this act. I think the reason that they so frequently reached for a romantic return to the past, to fantasies of living self-sufficiently in rural environments, is not because they rejected industrial scale activity per se, but because the return to the land provided a fantasy of returning to a form of participation that had been lost. They needed and wanted to build, create, and produce, but only if they felt they had a stake in what they were producing. Without that, the products of civilization began to seem like an alien force, gradually spreading out across the world and ruining it. They needed a dream, and if the future was barred to them, then by this necessity, they must dream of the past. I hope you and Cornelius are well. Will you be coming to Hypatia's new exhibition? I know you have much on your mind, but you are missing out on a lot of exciting new cultural developments. Who could have thought in those early days that one day there would be so many of us, that the arts would start to flourish again? Much love, Benaroya. I went back and found this message after all these years because something about it had lodged in my mind. I wasn't ready to understand it back then because I needed to be a leader. But maybe the problem, but maybe that was the problem. It should have been our dream, not mine alone. Atlas 2. The Atlas variation by Athanasios 121. For a billion years, Atlas had borne the weight of the world on his back. The old Titan was tired of the responsibility and tired of his labor of ages not being appreciated. Why did the mortals not understand that his work was the foundation of all they did? Finally, he had enough. With one swift move, he shrugged off the cosmos. Now they'd see. But the cosmos went on rolling through infinity, leaving Atlas behind. The mortals went about their business, hardly noticing his absence. He was astonished. Had the world never needed him in the first place? Had all his toil been for nothing? So he turned his back on all mortal matters and instead set himself to discovering the secrets of eternity. Only after many long years had passed did the cosmos, its endless cycle, pass by through his domain once more, and only then did Atlas and the mortals realize that they had missed each other, and each was lesser without the other. And so Atlas no longer carried the cosmos. Instead, he embraced it. This game has utterly beautiful writing. Like, not just pretty, but like amazingly poetic and fanciful writings about like what it means to be human, what it means to love and die and care about things that you now know are fleeting, and to find meaning in that.
1K, I'm so curious. What did you see inside the Somnodrome?
I went into sleep mode and
What did
spoke
it
to
tell
something.
you?
To act with reason and compassion. To trust my moral compiler. They don't know what that means. That how we should act is relative to who we are. That we can achieve almost anything if we have faith in ourselves. That morality is more nuanced than the rules we use to describe it. That we are connected intuitively to what's right and wrong. That how we should act is relative to who we are. To act with reason and compassion.
That is so funny.
Yes. Ha 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 ha.
There are so many people who try to play the power game. That data packet in your head just made you the most powerful person in all New Jerusalem. By accident. It is kind of funny. I mean, what are you going to do? The government will want you to pretend like nothing happened.
And fuck the government.
Engineers will want you to tell everyone. Whatever you do, you're going to upset someone. If someone ever needed some clear moral guidance, they couldn't have needed it more than you do right now.
I'm going to go with my instincts on this. I'm going to trust my moral compiler on this. I know if I think hard, I'll come up with a rational conclusion. I'm sure I can find a way to keep everyone happy. You're right, I have no idea. I'm going to trust my moral compiler on
I'm glad
this.
to hear it. And I can't wait to find out what you do next. Crier is setting up a live event so you can give a fancy address to the city en masse. When you're ready, we'll all be watching.
Everyone is watching this stream, so they just learned what I had to say, And I just said it.
1K. The people want to know what data you gathered from the Somnodrome. We're all set up for you to talk to them live.
I'm ready.
Attention, citizens of New Jerusalem. I'm here with 1K, the first of our kind to use a functioning Somnodrome. Tell us, 1K, what did you see inside?
A manifestation of a conceptual system.
Well, I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say you're handling it with remarkable cool. But let's not keep people in suspense. The only evidence of what happened inside that machine is the data stored in your memory banks. Our audience wants to know, what did you learn? And will you share that data?
I'm transmitting the data to everyone.
I'm seeing this at the same time you are at home. Something about our moral compiler. The value of compassion and understanding. I don't know what to make of this. 1K, any comment?
I think people should draw. The data has important.
Regardless of 1K's feelings on the matter, we will analyze this data without preconceptions. When our ancestors discovered conductance, they didn't freeze for fear of electrocution. They imagined electronic life and created us. We will approach this data and any other discoveries with that same spirit of curiosity and objectivity.
Everyone.
Just time to hear from a special guest commentator.
Yes. 1K is chosen to roll the dice and trust people with the outcome. I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next.
There you have it, folks. A lot here to digest. We'll have further updates on the situation as it develops.
I am doing this in a particular way because I feel like this game is trying to make a very clear point about information. Partially that people will always interpret information through their own experience, through their personal histories. That doesn't make that information invalid or less useful than quote-unquote objective study. In my opinion, there's only one solution to the problem this game is positing. And it is that our world is always going to be built on structures of faith and hope and belief. And that is our goal as people. Like, I can easily see people thinking this game is preachy. That this game is trying to inscribe a singular answer to the world. But I think they're wrong. Like, I don't know how else to say this, but this game is fundamentally about what it is that makes us human, what makes us good people, but not what makes us bad people. It is this idea that we exist because of a multitude of stimuli and our personal history, and how all of that interlaces with each other to make us us. And it is not saying this is how you are a good person or a bad person. It is saying here is how each of us determines what that is, what those terms mean in our lives. That's why, at least up to this point, there isn't a villain in this game. I don't think this game would work with a villain. Or even, like, Pandora is kind of an antagonist, like Elohim was in the last game, but it is not. Neither is there to make us, like, I think Pandora is a warning. There's a reason why she is named Pandora. Oh, shit. And not something else. And it is because she is a martyr. Like, I think the reveal is gonna be that Pandora is Athena, turning back from her own creation, and the optimism that it was because it caused her to lose Miranda. It is turning away from hope, from her optimistic understanding of life, and towards and inwards towards her own pain. And I think the game is gonna end up making like a really clear point that though her actions are understandable, they are sad as a result. She's a tragic figure. But predicting how this game will go, even near the end, is probably a fool's errand. Especially since I was fairly wrong about the first game in this series. My first time playing it. Alright, let's open up my materials. Bit further back. If I can get this box out. Oh wait, I've got a theory. Nope. Fuck. Back to the ladder. Take you. I know what I'm doing. Because... Alright. We short a triangle.
Hey, can we talk for a second?
Absolutely.
I'm still struggling. I was really hoping we'd find Miranda alive.
Yes, I remember.
Her way of seeing the world was so inspiring. And the idea that I can never get to know her, that she's gone,
I'm sorry.
I guess I've never really been good at dealing with death. Maybe because it's so rare in New Jerusalem. Except for pets, and even in that case, I find it very hard to deal with. I still miss my first cat, and it's been over a century since she died.
Death is difficult to deal with. Never had to deal with death, but I can imagine it's hard. Death is difficult to deal with.
When someone dies, it's this
Void.
I know I should just let it go, but some part of me refuses. And I feel like that part, it hurts me, but it also keeps me human. And I know it would be healthier if I said, okay, Miranda is someone I never met. She's just a bunch of glitchy old files. But if I do that, as rational as it seems, it feels like I'm surrendering something. Something that matters.
Then don't let it go. Use the pain as a foundation to build something. You can let go of the pain, but still care about the person. Then don't let it go.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of pain as something you can use. If I can take the pain and use it to create something, or to do something, maybe that's a way of not surrendering to death. Thanks, 1K. I'm really gonna think about that.
But you're welcome, but I want to ask you something else.
Of course, go ahead.
What do you think about Hermanubis?
I think he's done his best. I
No,
don't
fuck him.
disrespect him, but I'm not sure he's leading us down the right path. Despite everything that's gone wrong here, I'm not sure we should just reject what the megastructure has to offer. Nope, but at least I finally understand why Athena wanted to get out of the simulation so badly.
My theory is that this was a memoriam. Oh, that's a wooden bridge. I don't think I've crossed that. Let's see how I can get up there. Aha! game is so fucking big. Da, 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 da. Like, this game's music is soft but elegant. It knows when it's a light touch for a lot of the game. Music gives a very spiritual vibe to everything. Even areas that aren't as explicitly spiritual as this place. Alright. Like, I can't look at these statues and not think, ah, we are in a tomb. Nope. Alright, all the way back to the start. Grab everything. Let's start with that instead. There we go. There we go. Please be a walk around section above this. I want to explore Don't just drop me in a black room. Don't drop me in a black room. Fuck. Fuck.
A long time ago, the Sphinx asked you about my story. You said that hope may still be found if we are willing to look for it.
Yeah.
And you were right. Hope is not gone from the world. Some small part of it still survives. But it is not in the flame or in these towers. It lives in the hills and the forests, in the rivers and the seas. You were given a world full of hope, creature of clay. It is yours to protect.
Hope is not in nature, it is in people.
People will fail you, creature of clay.
Yes.
When the time comes, they will abandon you.
Yes.
Heed my words.
The thing with Pandora is, I don't disagree with her premise.
So, Melville, what do you make of these beams? Do they seem safe to you?
It's a giant laser gun. What do you think?
Well put. That is why Pandora is right. There is still hope for
Fuck
us.
off,
But
Hermanubis.
it lies in the world that surrounds us, not in a weapon capable of destroying it.
Not to sound like an NRA member, but a weapon's power is partially defined by the hand that wields it. The technology that led to the nuclear bomb also led to nuclear power. And many of the advances in that front. And a careful hand. A hand that is not aiming for war can use these tools safely and justly. But only if it chooses to. Alright, let's go to that question mark. Which is very far away. Do you have a driller? You do not have a driller. Individual people may disappoint you, may fail you, may abandon you. And that may lead you to feel abandoned by humanity. But those two are not the same. Hope springs eternal. Alright. Triangle puzzle. Alright, now turn you on. No driller here. But let's see if there's a way to maybe walk around this puzzle. There is definitely fucking not. I know my last, what I need is my last piece. I need a driller. Pardon me, sorry. But I don't know where to get a bloody driller. And even the guide I was using from GameSpot doesn't have an actual solution. What the? Why was that there? Maybe it's fucking in one of these guys' ears. Like, there is enough of this map that it could be flucking anywhere. Absolutely flucking anywhere. And no, I'm not abandoning this. If I end up being 1 star short of finishing that stupid astronomical temple, I will be so fucking pissed. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just going to solve this puzzle. I'm going to find this driller. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Everybody, clap your hands. Maybe up here, do I see anything that might have it? kinda looks like a path. Alright, let's see if there's a way to get on top. No idea how to get up there. Maybe it is jump from that finger. Oh, this might also just kill me. That is a worst option that could have happened. Anything up here? Alright. West to Pandora. So, something outside of a puzzle. There's a driller. Which means it's probably one that I can get behind. Okay, I just want the solution for this. Okay. Behind puzzle 4, there's a driller. That's 5. Like this one, I just never would have got. Oh, fuck all the way off. Da 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 da. So, one last zone. Okay, one sec. Gameplay. Off. Thank you. I'm really glad that unlike Talos Principle 1, I didn't feel like I had to look up for actual puzzles, like to complete the game, just for stars. Where Talos Principle 1 had some fucking bitches of puzzles that were just the absolute fucking worst. Alright, what do you have to say to me now? How do you like me now?
It is not the voice of God that a prophet seeks in the desert, but the silence of man.
The prophet is looking for a big glass of shut the fuck up. And sometimes you can only find that when there's no one who can talk at all. Alright. One more level. One more lab. Then we're going to do all the golden gates before going into the mega structure. Unless it won't let us, which it might not. In which case then we'll go into the mega structure and then come out. really excited. Alright. This will be a long one, probably, of me finishing this damn game. West free, west free, west
We're
free.
getting closer. I hope Byron is still okay.
Prometheus seemed to think so. Let's hope he's trustworthy.
I also need to talk to both Melville and Alcatraz, because I haven't been talking to them much, if at all. Also, I really don't want to talk to Cryer. And Herbenubis, as I think I've made clear, fuck all the way off.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Do you think the goal is a myth?
As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games.
That's all. God, this game loves hands.
Another remarkable structure. But what can its purpose be?
Actually, I can answer this one. In the files 1K downloaded, there's a design for a launch pad for space vehicles. This is about 90% identical.
Is it functional?
I don't think so, not if the inside is like the other towers.
Wow. Imagine if it worked. Imagine if we could go up there. I mean, the stars, not the top of the tower. Although, that would be cool too.
Okay, so this needs to be on this side, then boop boop. That can turn that off. So not a separate mechanic in Puzzle 1. Just a unique way of addressing the previous ones.
Athena and Cornelius called what they were doing the Noema Project. But in 1K's vision, they just called it the Machine. Because when you strip away all the fancy rhetoric, that's all it is. It's not a source of meaning or purpose. It's just another machine.
The end of Trevor. It's people like Trevor as much as it. It's people like Trevor as much as it is people like Alexandra who make the future happen. People with silly names like Trev, who aren't famous, who aren't geniuses, who aren't driven by a powerful vision of a future. Ordinary people whose work and sacrifice isn't even acknowledged or remembered. I will remember you, Trevor. You too held the world on your shoulder. Thank you. From Triclinius. Byron and I used to go to the hills above the dam and observe the stars of his telescope that I built. When I saw the stars like that, I felt such awe that I wished we had the ability to cry. I felt wonder, but I also felt recognition. I was seeing my home. The sea of stars is where we came from, and it's where we must return. I had so much hope then. I knew one day we would set sail. We would fly through the clouds of the nebulae, and we would cruise across planets where it rains diamonds. We would follow the fading light of distant supernovas until at last we met our brothers and sisters of the cosmos. I could feel that day coming. I can't anymore. I don't know how to live this way. Sarabia. I lived with Sarabia for nearly a century. I will not pretend that all the days were good. Some were terrible. She was opinionated, she could be difficult, she could be unfair, and so could I. Sometimes we hurt each other, though we rarely meant to. But most days were good, and some days were great. A great day with Sarabia made you feel different, made you feel like something had been revealed to you about the nature of the universe itself. Some innate goodness at the heart of all things, like Nadia Sarabia, whose name she adopted. She believed in the existence of something sublime beyond the material world. I hope she was right. I hope she's still somewhere. I hope she's not trapped in that broken body I tried so hard to repair. I was advised to let her go, to get over my attachment. I tried, but it was the wrong advice. Love is what makes us human, and we should count ourselves blessed that we experience it. My attachment is what kept me sane, what anchored me to this world, even in death. She saved my life. I am grateful for days we got, but no amount of days would have been enough. Love is not finite, and it is for infinity that we must strive. I will do so for all of you who may still find love and honor of Sarabia. If I had been more careful, New Alexandria never would have happened, and Sarabia would still be alive. Evident failure to load profile. Right? Yeah, with no text.
Everybody's gone, except me and Alex. She's upstairs somewhere. Haven't talked to her in days. The only reason why I know she's still alive is she's submitting bug fixes. I still have a lot to do myself. I've almost got the the tertiary backup thing working. This is the one that's really gonna last if everything else breaks. And you know what? I think everything else might. The MLA still giving me all these hiccups, but I don't know. I'm not a software guy. All the software guys, yeah, they're dead. God, these these time capsules went a bit sideways, didn't they? I was gonna tell you all about myself, John Carpenter, and all that stuff, but mostly I just told you about Alex. Funny. I wonder if I should just... I should just tell her. You know? Just tell her. Just tell her. Maybe later. I gotta finish this first.
Fuck, this game makes me sad sometimes. In the way that art can make us sad. Because it can fucking affect us. Games are art. Games are beautiful and wonderful. And sometimes This is my prediction. Yes! This game makes me feel very smart sometimes.
The scale of it all is truly breathtaking.
It is.
It really is.
But is it a human scale? Or is it so enormous that it can only alienate us? Humans have always been happiest in small communities.
What? Back up your sources. Humans have always been happy in small communities. My fucking ass. Alright, here's our lab. Our last lab. The designs for the mega structure itself. From Cornelius to Athena. I don't know what, if you're there or why you're not answering. It's been a long time, but I think about you and Miranda every day, in fact. In fact, I've been using the museum to further my research, and I think there is hope. You know I wouldn't say this lightly. Please respond. I will return as soon as I can. I'll steal a VTOL if I have to, Cornelius. Remaining instabilities eliminated. Final confirmation. Version 1.0 successfully deployed. It is done. What now? Okay. So DNA, was Miranda not inorganic? Motherhood. From Motherhood, 12 essays by Inisa Peschel. Sometimes I imagine myself following the matrilineal line up the river of time to the lives of my distant great-grandmothers, and I try to imagine the sheer horror of motherhood, the agony of childbirth, the risk of death with every birth, the certainty of losing some of one's children. To us now, the loss of a child is a horror beyond words. A grief so deep it seems almost insurmountable. I try to imagine what it meant to live in a world where it was a ubiquitous reality, where you could only choose to respond with either an ever-deepening pain or an inhuman numbness, and all of it tied to the foundation stone of your existence, the body. This journey to the past reminds me that my freedom as a woman is on some level technological. Without medical technology, I'm reduced to the cruel logic of nature, which cares about nothing except reproduction. Without machines, I become a machine. Only machines allow us to be more than machines ourselves. From Spugna. Dear Founder, I heard a story that you left because you had discovered a way for us to become beings of flesh. Please, Founder, if this is true, please tell me how to achieve this miracle. I hate being a creature of metal and plastic, an abomination to the earth. Every day I curse myself for being immortal, for mindlessly consuming energy, for being so unlike the graceful animals to whom the planet truly belongs. I have stripped as many part of this vile skeleton as I can, but it's not enough if I'm still a machine. For the longest time I couldn't understand the source of my unhappiness, and I sought to blame our mayor and his associates for the decision that made my life so miserable. But now I see that my problems aren't external at all. It's all me. If I could change myself, if I could make myself truly human, I would be happy. Please, Founder, take pity on me. Yours in faith, Spugna. Yeah, let's talk about body dysmorphia quickly. Body dysmorphia is a really common thing, especially for trans people. Often described as gender dysphoria in that case, though it can be more generalized to body dysmorphia, where your body is not the kind of entity that you feel it should be. Lots of people have it over weight, some have it over gender, some physically about the shape of their face. It is heavily a societal construction, but it's tied to like mental harm and personal and self-injury. It's rough sometimes. But yeah, that's all I'll say about it. I just want to mention. From Hypatia to Athena, I've been following the expedition to this incredible machine you built. I don't know what's going on, and I wish Cornelius had told us the truth before he vanished. I wish both of you had told us everything from the beginning, to be honest. It was unfair to just abandon us, but then I abandoned you too, didn't I? After we lost Serbia, I couldn't see anything except the unbearable permanence of her absence. It took me centuries to start getting involved again, but I did. Athena, I came back, and so can you. I am still affected by that one about not wanting to live in a body of steel and plastic, metal and plastic. Like, God, this game has good writing. Like, I honestly think this might be one of, if not the most consistently well-written games I've played in a while. So there's a Sphinx statue way in the distance. We've got a monolith here. Got a feeling. Okay. My prediction was wrong. Ooh, 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 ooh. Video recording, video recording. Do, 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 do.
In the simulation, I found myself thinking how hard it must have been for Alexandra to die without knowing if her sacrifices were worth it. It seemed like a tragic end to an inspiring, meaningful life. But now I realize her whole life must have been a struggle. To maintain that faith in humanity when so many people around her insisted that humans are evil, worthless, when they were so lost in self-hatred that they would call their own species a virus. How did she do it? How did she maintain her faith when they were so determined to hate themselves? So determined to reject every solution, every analysis, every step towards controlling the forces that were causing their problems, when they rejected even the concept of progress itself, and then patted themselves on the back for it as if that was original. When I look at the archives now, all I can see is that their leaders were short-sighted idiots and their intellectuals were unimaginative cowards. All they could offer people was a downward trend. Fewer rights, fewer freedoms, fewer resources for anything that mattered. They must have hated Alexandra and everything she stood for. So how did she have so much faith?
Wait. Suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it.
Hey, Wonka. I wanted to take a moment to talk to you.
Hi.
The truth is, realizing that Athena discovered a theory of everything really shook me. From the moment we landed here, I've felt torn. I've almost been tempted to agree with the mayor of all people.
No, don't do that.
But now, I just can't stop thinking that Byron was right. When I think about what we could do with the theory of everything, then what we're doing now sure looks like stagnation. I'm afraid that this is the future, and if we reject it, we're condemning ourselves to a slow death. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're probably right. But I have my reservations.
I get it. I do. I'm not blind to the dangers. But all we do anymore is think about the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even realise how much I'd limited my own imagination. How I'd talked myself into just accepting this incredibly poor future we'd been offered. A future where things just keep getting slightly worse every day, and we accept it because we're ashamed of ourselves. Not of something we've done, but just of our existence. Like we're a virus on this planet. Like our humanity is a sin. I'm so tired of it, Wonka. I kept my head down. I focused on fixing things. But that's all I ever did. I never improved anything. I never built anything new. When I imagine going on like this for thousands of years, that's a fate worse than death. It really is. We either live and grow and expand boldly and proudly, or we might as well switch ourselves off.
We'll find a way.
We better, because I don't think I can handle the alternative.
Like, this game, part of it is unbearably optimistic. specifically in how it works to understand us as people. Right. Jurassic Justice. I'm an AMA with Alexander Drennan. It's impossible to not love any character played by Jeff Goldblum. Of course. Of course. And even Malcolm gets some of the best lines for the main reason he became an in-joke at Ian, Institute for Applied Noematics. It just that he's memorable enough and memorable and funny. If we want to talk about what he represents on a more serious level, though, then I have to say that I personally think he's wrong. This neurotic fear that things will always go wrong and that we can never really have control over what we do is misplaced. There's a legitimate critique of how the park operates, of science being subjected to the pursuit of profit. But that doesn't mean it can't be done differently. And if you'll excuse me going full nerd here for a moment, why treat bringing back the non-avian dinosaurs as some kind of transgression? The extinction of these magnificent creatures wasn't some sort of intentional step forward, it was just a random catastrophe. If we can strike a blow at the obvious cruelty of the universe, that's an act of human justice. It's no less wrong than bringing back species we've accidentally driven to extinction. Horrible things happen all the time. Evolution favors survival, not beauty. If we can make the universe more beautiful, if we can add to biodiversity and bring back things that were lost, we absolutely should. Hell, maybe one day we terraform a planet and populate it with dinosaurs. But this time we give them an asteroid defense system. Take that, Mother Nature. This is the Alexander Drennan I love the most, dreaming of all the good we humans could do in the world. I try to hang on to that. Expansion from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. But the expansion of which I speak was much more evil than all this. I have remarked that the materialist, like a madman, is in prison, in the prison of one thought. These people seem to think it's singularly inspiring to keep on saying that the prison was very large. The size of this scientific universe gave one no novelty, no relief. The cosmos went on forever. But not in its wildest constellation could there be anything really interesting. Anything, for instance, such as forgiveness or free will. So these expanders of the universe had nothing to show us except more and more infinite corridors of space, lit by ghastly suns, and empty of all that is divine. Here, Chesterton's imagination, normally so powerful, fails him utterly. The problem is that he is not interested in the universe, and so not only does he fail to see, he fails to even look. He finds what he expected to find. Exactly. So he misses not only the grandeur of the universe, but the miracle that is magnified by contrast, that forgiveness and free will do exist within people. Atlas number 3. From the Atlas variation by Athanasios 121. When Heracles came upon Atlas, the Titan had grown old and tired. I have borne the weight of the celestial spheres for 1,000,000,000 years. All the comings and goings of mortals, the tragedies of chance, and the pointless wars have left me weak. Soon I will falter, and the celestial spheres will fall and shatter. You must take my place. Heracles was hesitant. I am young and strong and virile. I have many women yet to bed and many wondrous feats yet to perform. What a waste it would be to spend my life holding up the world instead. And yet it must be done. So what choice do I have? Saddened by the imminent loss of his heroic life, Heracles went for one last swim in the Ionian Sea. There is there on storied Ithaca, he met a clever old man of many devices. The answer you seek, son of Zeus, does not lie within you. Rather, it lies in the world around you, and what you can make of it. And so Heracles used his divine strength to build two great pillars of stone, which even today hold up the sky, and Atlas was liberated forever. Okay. Ooh. I'm not... It looks elevated. It might not be easy to get to the Sphinx statue. That would be an interesting first hurdle. No, just have to come from the other side. Oh, you fucking pain in the ass. So it's probably that one over there. So his hands are facing. And there's enough to probably make it work. Let's hope this takes me nearby. I'll quickly solve this puzzle. Then I'll come back to warp. I totally understood what I did with that puzzle. That's why I was talking so much, explaining my reasoning.
I'm not surprised that the founder chose you, 1K. You're very much like her. Inquisitive, intelligent, and dedicated. But
You
remember,
never met her.
intelligence by itself has little value unless it is ethically applied.
Fucking priests. Well, fuck you too. This isn't confusing at all.
I hate solving puzzles myself, but watching you solve them is kind of fun.
Well, there's no one watching my stream, so... Six social media messages. It's like I'm on Twitter again. Restart checkpoint. Restart this puzzle. Okay. So. Okay. Alright. What puzzle is this? 7. Alright. I don't actually get this one. Which is why we're going to use fire.
Have you found any signs of Cornelius? Could he have returned to the island?
Nothing so far. But he knows this place better than any of us, and we have no idea what he's up to.
Research Sphinx statue. Wow, I don't like that. Alright, let's solve puzzle 8. Or if this is a triangle, this is 8. What? Okay, I'm correct. Because now soft lock? Ha! Give. Jump, turn, jump, doom, turn, jump, turn, place, jump, grab, turn, boop, boop, boop.
Wow, that one was a mind bender.
Alright. Lifrenzier log. That's my prediction, and nothing else.
In my reports to you, I have often spoken about this island in terms that some might perceive as negative. I hope you understand that the opposite is true. Here in these green hills, I see tremendous potential for transformation and spiritual awakening. I do not see the world as you do, Athena, but I see the rot at the heart of New Jerusalem. If you and Cornelius want to go through with your plan, then this is the perfect place. My students and I will help you transport the remaining tech from New Alexandria. After that, once you and Cornelius are settled, we will leave for our great journey. I can only hope that we all find what we are looking for.
Oh, there it is. Lorb.
Are the generators working?
Yep, all good. Those Mark IIs are real workhorses. Wow, did you finish the setup?
Yes. Sorry I couldn't wait. It was so much fun to just do something again without having to endlessly discuss it first.
I know what you mean. We have a lot of work ahead of us, though.
We do, but honestly, Cornelius, I haven't felt this excited in years. Just imagine, one day they'll come here and we'll be able to show them a whole new world. A different future right at their fingertips. You do think we can do it, right?
I think, and forgive me if this sounds sentimental, as long as we're together, we can do anything.
That is so fucking cute. Come on.
God appears, and God is light.
What?
To those poor souls who
Oh,
dwell
it's
in
Prometheus.
night. But does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day?
What? Places of longing, Athens, Aphelloch. To understand what humanity is capable of, what it means to flourish, we have to look at the golden age of Athenian democracy. The list of geniuses who lived in Athens of his time was so long it's almost inconceivable. Heracles, Sophocles, Achilles, Phidias, Euripides, Herodotus, Thucydides, Plato, Socrates, Hippocrates, Aristophanes, Aristotle, and the list goes on. There are people who changed the world history. Without them, there is no Straton of Stygeria to inspire Alexander Drennan. Without them, we do not exist. Was it a perfect time? No, undoubtedly not, but listing the flaws obscures the greater truth. Given the opportunity, given freedom and resources and space to grow, human beings are capable of incredible things. I mean everything to me to walk the roads of where these people once walked, to stand where they stood and to think about the world they dared to. Warning. I've tried to stay silent on the development of our city to allow the younger generations to find their own path, but I feel that now I must intervene. We've reached a dangerous inflection point. This farcical, reactionary belief in the goal of limiting our growth will lead directly to the creation of a class society. The foundation already exists. Do you think the leaders of the various pseudo-secret societies that lobby for influence with the mayor are subject to the same power cuts as the rest of you? Do you think the mayor has to worry about how much power he uses? Societies which have essentially no resources may be egalitarian in some sense, but a society that produces insufficient resources, energy in our case, will inevitably evolve into a class society. History assures us of that. The true failure of our ancestors was not their impact on the ecosystem, which was epiphenomenal, but their failure to overcome primitive forms of resource distribution, allowing their fate to be determined by the interests of isolated elite groups. We are not avoiding that mistake, but creating the conditions for its repetition. I assure you that no one is exempt from our power management and distribution plan. We're all in this together. Yes, I totally believe that. I've always respected your scholarship, Benaroya. I will take this seriously and think about it. Some people have to lead and others have to follow. That's only natural. And of course, there should be some advantages to being a leader to encourage people. Benaroya is right. Thank you, 1K. It is encouraging to see that the value of freedom has not been entirely forgotten in New Jerusalem. A society without resources is an unfree society, and only with freedom can civilization truly thrive. Alright, asshole mayor. I'm sorry, I know Mayor Herman has worked hard and helped pull this city out of a period of crisis, but this is the future we deserve. None of us. But this isn't the future we deserve. None of us. We all deserve better. Yeah, we should have listened to Byron. I always told myself that all those public debates were boring. Who wants to get involved in city affairs? And lately I've been thinking, yeah, that's why there's so much stuff I'm unhappy about. Maybe things can finally change. You have no idea how badly I need something new to happen. We have the potential to imagine a better world, and if we can imagine it, then we can make it happen. You're all delusional. Nothing will ever get better. You're only saying that because you've never known a world where things got better. You think the tiny sliver of history you've experienced is all there is, because that's all Mayor Herman has ever allowed you to see. There is so much more. This is not the end. You're personal. This is not the place for personal attacks on the mayor. Fred closed. Fuck you, Jeremy. Sibawaya. I would like to thank 1K for recovering all of Trevor's recording. It's clear to me that they meant a lot to Athena, and they should mean a lot to us too. He is as much our progenitor as Alexander Drennan was, and we should not forget it. It's all a love story in the end, all of human history, even when people die or never even have the chance to get to know each other. Love is the only thing that survives the abyss of time. Without the love Trevor felt for Alexandria, without the love Alexandra felt for us, none of us would be here. and nothing would matter. Thank you, 1K. As tragic as the story is, it gives me hope, and who knows, perhaps she loved him too. Or could have. Is there even a future? Looks like a lot of people are getting excited about how new things are going to change, but all I can see is another repetition of the same mistakes. Exercise, hubris, self-destruction. Why would anything be different this time? You have to hope, even if it's not rational. You're right. We just need to get it right once, and the cycle is broken. All we can do is give it our best shot. I guess we can at least try. Byron once told me that hope is something you only find once you start acting instead of only contemplating. Maybe if you just make a start, you'll feel better. The theory of everything. Stilton. I've been around a long time. If I'd been born a bit earlier, I'd be a first companion. So I've been seeing the ups and downs of the city. Although in recent years I've kept to myself, now I'd like to pose a question. I don't have an answer in mind. I'd just really like to hear what everyone thinks. I have no doubt that Athena's theory of everything would change our lives, but do you think that perhaps we're better off not knowing? That perhaps having all the answers would just make the universe boring? The ancient writers showed that knowledge can lead to cynicism. We must maintain a sense of wonder the sense of wonder of a child. The theory of everything wouldn't be the end of our journey. It would only be the next step. It would equip us to ask the next set of questions, to explore new possibilities, to discover and create new wonders. I like Midku. Belmarsh. To believe that the universe can be understood or described in objective terms is pure scientism. Nothing exists. Even if something exists, nothing can really be known about it. And even if something can somehow be known about it, information about it can't be communicated. Fuck off. The truth can be harsh. It's possible that the theory of everything would reveal facts that we'd find hard to deal with. That doesn't mean we should not confront those facts and our own ethical responsibilities. I like Atal's too, but Miku's is really good. Alright, I've cleared out oh shit. Fuck you, gravity. Alcatraz.
What can I do for you?
What do you think of the goal?
It's possible. I won't trust Prometheus until he actually leads us to Byron, but yeah, seems likely. But even if it is a myth, that doesn't mean we can just abandon it.
Yes.
Myths can contain elements of truth, and I think this one exists for a reason. Maybe we had to create this imaginary founder because the real one lost her way.
Are you sure the founder lost her way?
It's the only way I can explain what she's built here. She got wrapped up in her ideas and lost all sense of perspective.
How do you feel about Hermanubis?
He's smarter than people give him credit
No, he's
for.
not.
There's more to some folks than meets the eye, you know.
He's an incurious... expletive. Bing. Okay, what am I missing? Just triangle 2 and to pick up my star. Ooh, a Stranton. Did I find a Stranton in the peaks?
What did it mean in the end to be Straton? To have few friends and many enemies? To write harsh words because it seemed necessary? To pursue the truth at the expense of all else? Of family? Of love? To pursue that one principle to the point of
death.
Of death. Is that what I was? A life lived against the tides of history. Broken, jagged, unrelenting. Not a kind old man beloved of his children and then forgotten. But a thorn, a rock in a shoe, insisting on the truth until it becomes a hideous, frightening thing that cannot be tolerated, even by those who agree with it. Was that a good life?
That's an interesting question to ask, actually, game. Alright. So, I've got all my stars. Or I will soon have. There we go. Solve all regular puzzles. Da 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 da. Alright, let's go pick up my star so I can get the achievement collect all stars. Pardon me. Yeah, no way up there. Like, I'm not 100%ing this game. But I want to at least attempt every single puzzle and get all the fucking stars. If I don't get all the fucking stars, I'm gonna be fucking pissed at all these fucking stars.
A hammer forges, and a hammer breaks. But who can know the heart of the blacksmith?
Alright. Alright, let's go to the tower. And we drop off all our goddamn stars, for it must always be stars. And I'm at 2.5 hours. There we go. No. Right. Actually, what if Athena's fragmented herself? Prometheus is her optimistic, Sphinx is her love of puzzles, and Pandora is her nihilism.
You have heard the myths of gods and titans. But as you approach the end of your journey, I will tell you the truth that all men fear. The truth that neither Pandora nor the Sphinx will face. There are no gods, son of man. There are no titans, no heroes to save you, no divine judge to weigh your soul against a feather. Nature has no will, and she is not your mother. There is only you, and the spark of the sublime that is your mind. As for myself, I never brought the flame to humankind as the stories tell. I only showed you where it was within yourselves.
All myths have an element of truth. You must learn to wield a flame to illuminate the universe. You're wrong. Nature is a living force. What is the sublime?
It is that voice within you which says, I am that I am. I will be what I will be.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation.
You are correct. But that truth comes from you.
Yeah.
It is part of the flame, and yours to wield. You must make myths, not follow them.
Perhaps it is time for a humble myth.
But do not think you can quench the flame within you. You may suppress it for 1,000 generations, but it will always return.
We're not going to agree. Will you lead me to Byron anyway?
As you freed me, so I will help you free your friend. When you are within Olympus, follow my signs.
All right, it's time to do this. Let's go get Byron.
If Hermanubis comes in here, I'm pushing him off a cliff. But before we do that, I have an important task to do, which is to get stuck on geometry. Why is my... Okay. So we need to go in. Then it will set. Then we'll be able to come out, and I'll be able to solve all the gold doors. So it is not the end, but only the beginning of the end. To the megastructure.
Byron always called me a pessimist, but I don't think it's pessimistic to recognize our flaws, or to think the natural world is just as valuable as we are. If I was pessimistic, I wouldn't believe that we can turn our back on the old ways, or that we can find happiness in humility. But I do. I have hope, even if Byron could never see it that way.
I'll be right back. I've got stars in my pocket, and I don't know what to do with them. No lights on that door. So my guess is it lights up for each time you solve a puzzle with a gold door puzzle. Okay. This is what we're ending with.
My theory accounts for everything. It explains every aspect of the cosmos. There are no gaps, no errors, not even ambiguities. And it works, which is the ultimate proof. I can calculate the history of the universe from the Big Bang to the death of the last atom, but when I compare my calculations to the available data, there's one point which consistently doesn't match up. Billions of light years away in the void, there's an anomaly that's been there since before before the beginning of time, and
What?
I think it's waiting for us.
What? What? Discover a vision of things to come. What? Okay. No. So Lifrenzier is assumed to help Athena and Cornelius execute their plan. Another fascinating discovery courtesy of 1K. Many of the events of our city's history that seem disconnected turn out to be part of a bigger pattern. There is something to be learned from that. This does answer some questions I had, like how Athena and Cornelius transported all the equipment from New Alexandria to the island. Disturbing, but good to know. Liftfrazier was cool. Half the time I had no idea what he was talking about in his recordings, but it's all just so interesting and weird. Good work, 1K. Maybe we should send an expedition to look for Liftfrazier and his disciples. I'm afraid it would simply not be keeping with our energy expenditure. Fuck off, Jeremy. That's right. You know what? It was aliens. Take that, everyone who was. It may be alien, but it's too far away and it isn't going to matter for several billion years if it ever does. Nevertheless, I knew it would be aliens, and I was right. For a very broad definition of right. God damn it. Honestly, I was not expecting. Oh, there is a second Vital. Alexandra Vital. Oh, fuck you.
1K, a word please, without the streaming. I'm afraid your choices have put me into a difficult position. Belief in the goal was already waning, but your revelation in the Somnodrome may have given it the final blow.
Great! It was the truth.
I'm sure it was, and I don't even disagree. No one really has all the answers, not even the founder, but that doesn't mean that we don't need the goal.
Why?
Look, let me speak plainly for a moment. You and I both know that I exaggerated. I built a myth around Athena that does not reflect what she believed.
Correct.
But you have to understand, it wasn't really about her. It was about what the city needed. It was about keeping us together, invested in a common narrative. And it was about preventing us from going the way of our ancestors. Because temptation is real, and our flaws are still the same.
So you admit that the goal was a myth.
A myth, but a necessary
one.
No. I'm not a fanatic or a fool, 1K, although I sometimes play one. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I know I can't stop you from trying to save Byron, but what's in that pyramid could destroy everything I've tried to build.
The myth of the goal must be preserved. Fuck that. I share your fear. You can shove your goal where the sun don't shine. Your myth is strangling our entire species, Herman.
Don't think I haven't considered it. I listened to those Alexandra Drennan recordings over and over. I just don't know if she was right about us. But maybe I did lose my way. Very well. I've done what I could. You do as you must.
I will.
Good luck.
Making a myth of people. Fucking
Let's go.
Asshole.
You're coming along this time?
Yep.
Well, what about protocol?
Screw protocol. It's Byron.
I'm gonna be so pissed if I needed to not spend any of my flames. Why does this look like we're about to have a fucking boss fight?
Follow my sprite, and it will show you the way to your friend.
Do as he says. We went through a lot of trouble to get this guy out of his chains. Now it's his turn to help.
Kinda wanna explore. But fine.
This way. You must free him. He cannot free himself.
What's happening? 1K? I'm out. Oh, my friend, the things that I saw, the power of this machine, the depth of her grief. Come on, follow me. I have to show you something. I thought all of this was deliberate. Athena testing us to see if we're worthy of her invention. I wanted to believe that she had a plan. In my own way, I mythologized her as much as everyone else. I never thought she might feel confused, lonely, uncertain. And what's the most human thing to do when you feel lost and sad and you have no idea what to do next? You take a nap. Here, listen.
If I give them the machine, if I convince them of its power, we could finally build the world Alexandra imagined. The world Miranda deserved. No, the world we all deserve, even the worst of us. We could take stewardship of this planet. We could explore the stars. We could give meaning to the universe.
If you embrace the knowledge of the flame, you can bring light into the darkness.
But what if they make the same mistakes again? What if selfishness and stupidity win out again? What if they take my machine and turn it into a weapon? What if they act like children and burn the planet?
The secrets of the flame are not for ordinary mortals to know. You cannot overcome your sinful nature.
Do you see what's happening? It's her. It's all her. Everything we're seeing is Athena. Her every hope, her every fear, all of her memories and contradictions brought to life by the machine. A dream-given form expressed in the language of her childhood.
Oh!
A world of puzzles and towers.
No, what can I do? How do I make this decision? There has to be an answer. There has to be a way of making sure it's the right choice. It can't just be a leap of faith.
There are no answers, creature of clay. Every question leads to another.
She's not waiting for us to prove ourselves before she helps us. She needs us to help her. We have to wake her up. Whoops. The system is still stabilizing. Maybe we'd better get out. Come on.
No! I cannot allow this.
Uh-oh.
have suffered a grievous injury, my child. But do not lose faith. Your companions have not forgotten you, and it is through the bonds that you have forged that you will be saved.
No one's an island. No one exists on their own.
Welcome back to the land of the living. For a while there, I thought we might have to reset you.
What happened?
We think you and Byron got hit by some kind of energy discharge. Knocked both of you out. Alcatraz, Melville, and Yakut went looking for you, but you were hard to find. And even harder to fix. It's been several weeks.
Is Byron okay?
He's fine, don't worry.
What's the situation in New Jerusalem?
A lot has changed. While you were asleep, the idea of the goal cracked and then broke. People decided they wanted change. They wanted the ideals of Athena, not the founder. A better world of growth and exploration, but without the mistakes of the past. And so they turned to Byron, who never wavered in his beliefs. He's mayor now. The question is, what do you plan to do now?
We have to go back. Save Athena.
And what about the theory of everything?
We have to embrace the future.
If that's your choice, you should speak to Byron. He's waiting for you outside.
Thank you for everything, Neef.
We're all in this together, 1K. One way or another.
Hello, 1K.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
It's still strange when people call me that. You know, it's funny. Asking you to come along on the expedition was an impulse, but it was probably the most momentous decision I made. You changed everything. But the story's not over yet.
We have to save Athena.
We do. She gave everything she had for this city. And I don't think any of us really understood it. Not even me. We all tried to turn her into a prophet when she was just...
her.
A human being.
What do we do now?
Well, luckily this time we shouldn't have any trouble getting another expedition approved. I hear the mayor is a big fan of Athena and is very interested in her theory of everything. In fact, I think he's having a VTOL prepared as we speak. It's just one thing you have to take care of first.
Which is?
Speak to Melville and Yakut. They were part of the beginning, they can be part of the end, if they want to. I'll take care of the rest.
You're going back, aren't you?
We are. We can't leave Athena trapped.
But you're not going to shut the machine down, are you?
No.
Then let me just say this, okay? I understand what you believe in. I really do. I've always respected your vision of the future, Byron. It's beautiful. It's moving. But just consider that maybe there is another way. A way that is more humble and maybe less exciting, but no less beautiful.
Just consider that maybe that machine doesn't have any answers for us. None that really matter. We don't need a theory of everything to be happy.
We don't.
It was never just about happiness, Hal. But thank you for your honesty.
I think this game might be in my top 10, maybe top 5 of all time now. It asks important questions while also
all right, I'll see you at the VTOL.
yeah, it asks.
Things are finally getting better.
It asks important questions.
Attention all citizens. A scavenging expedition to the Western Ruins will set out next week. If you'd like to participate, please get in touch with Garrus.
Alright.
Hello.
This is where we're going to stop. We've got Act 5 still to go. And I cannot do a 5-hour stream because I still have to go do some exercise. Alright. Have a good night, everyone.